Okay, now we are now going to demonstrate how to use the Transas TechSim 5000 for officer in charge of engineering watch who will undergo practical assessment at Sequest Maritime Technician Inc. Okay, let's start with the familiarization. First, we have to close after reading the briefing, click the close button to start the system. And then also there is a message, your assessment will start after closing this message, so you close this button and the system will start. Alright, there is a standing order, you have to comply with this. Close that button as well. And then go to ER1, that's the first step. Select 3D and move the 3D so that you can get access on the indicator clocks number 1 to 6. And then open all the valves by clicking the left mouse button. Okay, once they are all open, go to tuning gear LOP, switch on the power supply, and make sure that the selector knob is in the engage side. And then press forward button for a few seconds, release the forward button, and press reverse button for a few seconds. Once this has been done, disengage the turning gear, switch off the power switch, and close all indicator valves by using the right button of the mouse. Okay. Then go to SYS, select boiler feed water and condensate system. Make sure that the number 1 boiler steam outlet valve is open. Sometimes in some scenarios it is closed. So just to be sure that the valve is open, go to SYS and boiler feed water and condensate system. Afterwards, go to ER4, select number 1 boiler control panel and acknowledge the alarm. Press the alarm reset button and then put the auto manual selector knob to auto and press the on button so that both auto and on buttons are on. Okay, afterwards go to ERS. ER3, select ER1 GPBP so that you can start all engine room supply fans. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4 supply fans. The switch on. Then go to SG, select steering gear LOP, and put the selector knob to local first, and then start number 1 and 2 steering gear and put remote. Select in the, go to ER1, select NGPS and switch on power supply. Then go to SYS, select lube oil, stern tube, open the pump discharge valve. Do not that the pump is running. If it is running, then switch it off. Go to ER1 GPB3. Okay, so stop the stern tube, put back to remote. Go to SYS, select fuel oil, filling and transfer pump. As you can see, there are alarms, low-level alarms on MDO service tank and HFO settling tank. So we have to fill up these two tanks using MDO transfer pump and HFO transfer pump. So we'll take suction from number 2 fuel oil storage tank port. So open the two valves there. Open the suction of HFO transfer pump and then trace the line, make sure that fuel oil settling tank filling valve is also open. Yes, it's open. Then go to trace this MDO transfer pump, suction valve to be open, and MDO service tank is already open. Then go to ER1, select EBP10, put both pumps to local control and start both pumps. HFO transfer pump and MDO transfer pump. And put back them to remote. Then select ER4, select bulb remote control HPOLOP, switch on the power supply and start both pumps. Acknowledge alarm. Then go to ER, again to ER4, select AC control panel so that you can start the air conditioning unit. Switch on the power supply for aircon control panel and then selector knob temperature regulation 2 so that we can start both compressors and number 1 and 2 coolers will be switched on. And then number 1 and number 2 AHU fan panel main switch to be switched on, and then the fan to be switched on, and then at ER4 select ACLOP to start the fan and the compressors. So switch on AC fan 1 and AC fan 2. Press air compressor number 1 and number 2 solenoid valves and start number 1 and 2 aircon compressors. Then put both to auto condition. Then go to ER3. Select auxiliary blowers 1, 2 LOP. Start number 1 and number 2 auxiliary blowers and put them to remote. At this time, record all the data in the engine logbook. We will provide you with engine logbook so that you will be able to record all the data required there. And afterwards, you go to ER3, select GE12 LOP so that we can start number 1 or number 2 generator engines. At this time, number 2 is already running, so we'll start number 1. First, we put the selector knob to engine or local control, then press the start button. Watch the RPM of the generator engine, and then as soon as it reaches 900 RPM, go to MSB. Oh, by the way, before we go to MSB, we have to put the LOPG number 1 to remote, otherwise it will not be synchronized. And then go to back to MSB, select synchro panel, and then put selector knob of frequency and voltmeter and synchroscope to G2 or G1 because we are going to synchronize G1 or G2, whichever is going to be synchronized. In some scenarios it could be G2. So in this familiarization I'm using G1. And then press the synchro button. Oh, by the way, this synchronization lamp should also be placed to G1. No, it should be on manual so that the auto synchro button will light up. And then the synchro and power control should be on auto. Okay, let's press auto sync. See, it will become white, and then let's wait for number 1 GE takes some of the load from number 2. Okay, now they are on synchronized condition. Then go to ECR. Here you may see that the navigation full light is on. So you have to put the ECR button to that position. And then check, also go to BCC B to make sure that it's also a navigation full condition. So bring down the BCC to telegraph to stop, and then go to ECR and bring down telegraph to stop as well. And then let's test the telegraph by moving the bridge and engine control room telegraph from stop to slow ahead and then back to stop. Then go to dead slow astern. Slow astern, sorry, for BCC and ECR. Okay, let's do it. First BCC, go to slow ahead, go to ECR, follow the order. Once they are the flickering lamp stop, go back to BCC, put the telegraph to stop. and then to ECR, follow the command to stop. Back to BCC, put the telegraph to slow as turn, and go to ECR, follow that command. Then BCC again, put the stop telegraph, go to ECR and follow the command stop. Once they have been tested, the main engine control position for changeover should be changed from ECR to bridge, so that we can start the main engine through bridge control. Okay, so go to BCC, press the bridge button so that the bridge will stop flickering and acknowledge the alarm. Here you can see that the starting air low pressure alarm is on. That means the starting air valve to main engine is still off. So let's go to SYS. Let's choose compressed air system and open the main engine starting air inlet valve. Likewise, we go to HT cooling system, open the set of valves of heater and close heater valves in preparation for starting the main engine. If this valve is off and you start the main engine RPL will not go up above 40 RPM. So make sure that this valve is open. We also have an alarm on the cooling freshwater expansion tank, so we fill that up before we start the main engine. Let us wait until the red lamp has disappeared, or at least the tank level is about 45 to 50%. So let us wait before we go to other parts of the simulator, otherwise we may forget this and it may overflow. Okay, it's now 44. Now if it's just 45, we can close this for a while. And then we go to BCC. And put the telegraph, main engine telegraph to slow ahead to start the main engine. So watch the main engine RPM. Make sure that it has increased. By the way, let's check the ECR. Okay, we forgot the auxiliary boiler to be placed on auto. So put that to auto as well before starting the main engine. Okay, we have a critical speed alarm, so raise up the RPM to move the main engine RPM beyond critical speed. Alright, then go to ER4, select, we start the required auxiliaries. So we will start with provision cooling pump, go to ER4, choose provision cooling pump LOP, switch on the power supply, and press master solenoid valve, number 1 and number 2 compressors, and press the start button. Acknowledge the alarm because there will be alarm on the butter, meat, and pistons because they all be above -10 or marker -15. But they also have uh, alarm on the number 1 and 2 compressors. The pressure outlet is high. So to remove that alarm, increase the pressure setting of the condenser to above 24 bars so that the alarm will disappear. Now it's normal. And then go to SYS. We will change the overman engine fuel supply from diesel oil to fuel oil. So it's already fuel oil, so that's not. But in some scenarios, maybe the fuel oil is off. Fuel oil supply line is off, but in this case, it's on. So to determine whether which one is being used by main engine, make sure that the green light coming from HFO service tank valve is open. And the crossover valve for coming from MDO tank is closed. So that shows that main engine is running on fuel oil. So if it is on fuel oil, that means the temperature of fuel oil inlet is at least above 80 degrees. So you can see it's already going up to 85 degrees. Then we go to BCC first. Let's put the main engine to pull ahead and then to navigation pull. Then let's go to SYS. We'll start pumping out up bilge tank. So we go to bilge and fire GA system. There you see that there's a red indication on the aft bilge well. That means the aft bilge well level is high. So we open the suction valve of that bilge well. Then trace the line going up to engine room bilge pump. We have to transfer up bilge content to bilge holding tank. So going there, then out, back to bilge holding tank. So we can start bilge holding bilge pump. Let's go to ER1 GSP7. ER1 GSP7. So put the reference to manual of bilge pump, start it, and then put to auto. Oil water separator. Okay. Then we go back to SYS. Make sure that there is discharge pressure after the bilge pump. And then we go to SYS again, select lube oil transfer and purifying system so that we can put in service the lube oil purifiers. Okay, so we line it up. The lube oil purifier should take suction from main engine lobe or sump tank. So from there we go like this, and then the interconnection valve between number 1 and 2 purifiers off, so we open the interconnection valve so that we can run number 2 lobe oil purifier feed pump. Number 1 lobe oil purifier is already running, so we only start number 2. But before we put that in operation, we also trace the outlet of the number 2 lobe oil purifier to make sure that all the valves are open. So there, this shut off valve, interconnection valve is off. So we have to open that up. And then this goes down to back to main engine lobe or something. So it's ready. We go to ER1 GPB P3 to start lobe oil purifier. Main engine lobe oil number 2 lobe oil purifier feed pump. Either you can start it from here, or you go to ER3, choose GSP4, and there all the motors and feed pump motors are located. So you can start number 2 lube oil purifier feed pump and lube oil purifier motor. You can see number 1 and 2 pure oil purifier feed pump and motors are also located here. But before we start that, we go to SYS again and choose fuel oil purifying system. Again, we line up the purifiers before we put this into operation. So from lube oil, fuel oil settling tank goes up to feed purifier feed pumps. And first we go to number 1, make sure that all the valves are lined up. Then out there, you see that the outlet valve of number 1 purifier is off. So switch that on. Then to service tank. What about the other one, fuel oil purifier, we zero trace number purifier. Number 2, going that way. Okay, all the valves of number 2 purifier are open. Now we can go back to ER3. Let's choose fuel oil purifier, fuel oil, GSP4 first, and start purifier number 1 and 2, feed pump and motor. Okay, now let's go to lube oil purifier 1 to LOP. Switch on the monitor and control source selector knob. Then monitor from the multi-monitor screen the RPM of the number 2 bowl. Once it reaches about 10,000 RPM, then you can press the auto start button. So that's already 10,000 RPM, so we can press the auto start button. Make sure that lube oil heater mode is also on auto. Then we go to fill or purifier 1 2 loop. Now you can see all buttons are off. So we switch on the monitor function and control source of number 2 and number 1 purifier. Let us wait, see if the purifier bowl RPM has reached 10,000. Okay, so it's still 9,900 and rising up to 10,000. Okay, it's 10,000 on number 1 purifier, so we press the auto start button. Number 2 is also 10,000, so we press the auto start button. Okay, so now the fill oil purifiers number 1 and 2 and number 2 lube oil purifiers are in service. But to determine whether they are already having discharge pressure, let's go to SYS. The choose fill oil purifying system. It's still doing automatic starting. So the same with number 1 and 2. So let's go back to this later on. Let's choose lube oil transparent purifying system to see if it is also supplying. Not yet. Okay. Let's check again. Oh, see, there is oil return valve there not open yet. So we have to open that up. Yeah. It's going there. Let's go back to ER3. See, look, purifier. Hold on. Okay. Number 2 logo purifier. Let's go back to the logo transparent purifying system. 3.4. Okay, section. Okay, let's press this carefully. Then back to suction. Okay, so let's wait for some more time. Then let's go to ER3. No, ER, ER3 to start freshwater generator. ER3, we go to FWG loop. We switch this on, but before we start, select ejector pump. Let's go to SYS first. Select FWG system and open the overboard valve of ejector pump. Then go back to ER3, start, eject the pump and distillate pump. Then put them to auto condition. Also raise the alarm setting of salinometer to at least 16 ppm. Then go back to OIC-FWG, open the inlet and outlet valves of the heater of freshwater generator. Open about 50% the feed. Then open either of the three, freshwater tank, drinking water tank, 1 and 2. Let's open first the freshwater tank, so that when the distillate pump starts running, there will be an outlet. Okay, let us wait until the distilled water has reached its maximum and observe whether the distillate pump will start running. Okay, so now you have flow there, distillate pump running, and there is an output of 1.6 cubic meter. So that's already running normally. Now let's go to MSB. We can stop one diesel generator. So let's go to synchro panel. This time let's stop number 2 generator engine. So we press the auto load shift at number 2 so that it will give all its load to number 1 generator engine. Okay, so once the number 2 GE is no more load, let's go to ER3, select GE1 and 2 and stop number 2 DG. By pressing the handle, moving the handle to stop condition. Okay, once the RPM is 0 on number 2 DG, put back the handle to run. Now, go to SYS. Let's see if the killing is running. Okay, so it's running. Go to SYS, select FO, main engine FO as system. It's already on fuel oil. Okay. Just in case that the MDO pump is still off, you have to run this as well. But before running, make sure that this valve, inlet valve and outlet valves are open, otherwise generator will stop. Okay. So let's afterwards go to SYS again, main engine, service system. There you see that the lube oil, cylinder oil measuring tank level is low, so you have to fill it up. opening the cylinder or storage tank and wait until the measuring tank is reached 100%. Okay, 70% already. 84, 85, 86. Okay, so we can close now the inlet supply valve because it's at 100%. Then we go to SYS. Let's check HT cooling system. Expansion tank level still at 46%. Maybe we can add some more there up to, let's say, 60%. Okay. So while we are waiting for that, let's go to CMS and click summary and acknowledge all alarms. So the code, NIT and PCM are still high, but as long as you have started it, that will be alright. So let's check the provision cooling. So temperatures has almost reached normal, except for butter. Butter is still going down. Fish is already normal. Meat also normal. Oh, we have to put this on auto as well. Okay, let's go back to CMS. Cylinder lubricator system is abnormal there, but we have already filled it up, so it's okay. So that's the end of the familiarization for officer in charge of an engineering workshop.